Sonafood Memories is hereby unraveling wisdom bites from an unusual octogenarian, a wisdom-packed documentation of the history of a living legend, a great mentor of great leaders, Justice George Oladeyinde SHOREMI, JCA, FICMC, JP, Retired Justice, Court of Appeal, Benin Division. Decision makes a man. The young Oladeynde's decision level is quite amazing.
How do I turn from, I want to become a lawyer, and a lawyer must be. Is a town by itself. All the lawyers in Ibadan were based in Kotedo. So right from primary school in Ibadan, it's in Ibadan. It's still there today. My father's is still there. That's where the lawyers are based. So I was privileged to see them dressed up when I'm going to school. So I always admire them. I saw the likes of Akijide, the likes of Olofoyoku, the likes of Master Abimbola, who became Justice Abimbola, the likes of, when I was growing up again, by the way of growing, I met Chief Abe Babalola, and many of them, many of them like that. So I was looking at them, and that aspect almost marred my education. Why? Because after watching them, I now discovered that they were going to somewhere that is court. My father's house in Atonireke, when we parked Atonireke, is about 5 minutes to the court, Atonireke Magistrate Court. So instead of going to school straight, I first of all go to the court to watch proceedings. Sometimes I was carried away, I would not be in school. So one day, Chief Awolowo was coming in his car, IK 144, Premier of Western Region. In those days, there's no flamboyance that they do now, no siren, nothing. It was Chief Awolowo, an inspector who was his orderly, then Chief Awolowo at the back of IK 144, that was his car. I said, that's Awolowo. Oluremi Alabi waved to, it's now raining. Oluremi Alabi waved to the, I said, that's the payment. Awolowo said, you know what? Awolowo parked to our side, picked us, I missed plenty of files on a seat. Awolowo packed all the files down and we sat to him. We couldn't look at his face. We would look at him and turn our faces. Then he opened discussions. He asked for our names, for our schools. We first of all thought he was going to report us to our schools. What we want to do in life. Alabi said he wanted to read, I think chemistry or something. And I said I want to become a lawyer. He looked at me. Want to become a lawyer? I said yes. Awolowo took us to our homes. Awolowo took us to our homes. That day I got home and I told my father it was Awolowo who dropped me. He didn't believe me. I said it was Chief Awolowo. I now showed my father the card. That day he turned from SNC and became Action Group. So after modern school, I was looking for teacher training. I didn't know. I was going to interview. I didn't know why I was failing interview, passing the written. So one day I remember I took an exam to Bobuna Teacher Training College. Is it at Ekpe or something? I can't remember now. But the exam was in Ibadan at Idiko Baptist School. So after the written exam, we were on the field playing. Then they started interview. So I came into the hall for interview. 3 people were sitting to interview us. They asked questions, I was answering. They asked questions, I was answering. I didn't know what was their mind. They talked to each other. Now they work some algebra on the board. You know the board in those days? It's called blackboard. No sanding, it's done to the wall. It's cemented. Then one of them just took chalk and wrote some algebra on the board. And they said I should come and solve the algebra problem. I looked at them. I was a short boy. How can my hand get to where? So I said they should excuse me, they should stand up from their chairs. They stood up and I pushed the table to the wall and jumped on the table. They started laughing and they pulled me back. They now told me that I was good, but because of my height, they would not take me, that I should go and do something. I became very, very sad. I didn't know what to do. How do I turn from? I want to become a lawyer, and a lawyer must be. So I got home. I remember a week earlier, 7 days earlier, before that day, I read in the papers advertisement of Nkrumah School of Ideology in Ghana, looking for students. I said, okay, let me write to this school. In those days, when you post a letter from Nigeria, even to London, the second or third day you get your reply. From postmaster, they bring it to our house. I wrote that I wanted to come for a course, and I'm ready. My father is ready to pay. One thing about my father is that just get a school, he will pay. Willingly, he will pay. It's as if he's keeping the money at home. Daddy, we are paying tomorrow, he'll give you money. So I told him I was writing to Ghana. I said, yes, no, there's no problem. It's going to improve my status in life. When the reply came, they said I should look for a political party to sponsor me. That no individual can come to that school except through a political party. I said, that's easy. And I said, well, this is another time to go and see Chief Awolowo. Chief Awolowo lives in Okebola. There's no fence in his house. If I remember any fence, it's not more than 2 coaches of blocks. Till today, when you are passing through the road, you see his house naked. He has an office. So I said, one day, I just went to his house. I was waiting outside. The gate man said, Baba Utiji. I said, Baba will meet me here. I wait for him. Fortunately, Baba appeared in his balcony. I said, young man, what do you want? I said, I want to see you, sir. He came down, met me. I said, what? I showed him the letter. He looked at me. He said, I've seen you before. I said, yes, sir. Where? I got to tell you, sir. I was attending modern school then. When you go to modern school in those days, it's more than, I would say, in modern school at that time, it's more than advanced level of now. So, he looked at me, saw the letter, then he gave me a note, sealed. He said, go and give the letter to your father. I went back to my father again. At the weekend, he came home. I showed him the letter. Ah, you saw Awolowo? I said, yes. Up to today, my father, you still have the picture of Awolowo. He said I should not open it. I don't know. My father opened it and he said, send this boy back to school. He says he wants to be a lawyer, and a lawyer he must be.
Judge Oladeyinde SHOREMI, a young, brilliant and determined student's decision of becoming a lawyer was indeed tested.
One British Council library very near us. So I go to the British Council hall, reading all sorts of things. Now, in April, I have a friend, Lati Bakare. He's a junior brother to Justice Bakare. We are like twins in the area. We are like twins. He was attending the boys' high school in Ibadan. He just called me from downstairs. Then where are you? I said, I'm here. He said, come. Our principal is retiring and is establishing a secondary school. And the forms are out. I want you to take the exam. Gave me the form, collected it, returned it. The name of the principal was Baba Emmanuel Ademo. He was the first African principal of Osi College, Warri. He's been a principal for so many schools, became very popular, very strict man, I learned he took his degree from home. He has a BA, he has LLB, and he speaks Latin fluently. So I took the exams. I went for the exams. That was in April 28 or 29. The school was to start on May 2nd, 1960. I came first. The man was impressed, gave me admission, went back home. It must be a Wednesday or a Thursday. Showed it to my father. Before the weekend, my uniform was ready. Money for books was ready. Money for my house was ready. So I went to that school on a Saturday, joined the body house, and I was appointed the senior prefect of that school in 1960. The school was to start in the premise of a primary school. I remember Ratibi Primary School. So by 9 o'clock, the principal was addressing us when people came from the Ministry of Education and dispersed us, saying that they have not allowed Baba to open the school. But Baba gathered us again and said, well, if they don't allow us to start in the morning, we shall be coming in the afternoon. At that time, most of the students were mature students like me, having gone through modern school, having come from an area where we believe nothing is impossible. As young as I was, I encouraged all my fellow students. I said we should not miss this opportunity. How many secondary schools were in the country then? I can count about 3 or 4 in the Ibadan. So this is an opportunity for us. Let's stay here. So we will start school at 2 o'clock and finish at 6. Within a month, we saw that we were being taught by best brains around. Even though we had part-time teachers, but they were all graduates. I remember retired Chief Judge of Ondo State, of Ekiti State, Justice Afoja, who taught me economics. I remember Baba Faliti, who taught me Yoruba. I remember Akewale, who taught me English. I remember who again? Many of them. Even Afe Babaola taught me Constitution. And the principle of Baba Ademo was that nobody after the modern school should spend more than 2-3 years again in any school before he can succeed in life. So he decided that we shall be taking GC London. Again, we went to the permanent site, and where they were putting the blocks to build the school was only a footpath to the permanent site. So we students started to carry blocks in the morning, building the permanent site, which I enjoyed so much. My wife's school, we shall carry blocks through that school. They will be coming to school in the morning. They will see the boys carrying blocks. They don't know whether we are laborers or students. But in the afternoon, we become neat, white, everything. So you can't even talk to any girl there to answer you. Fortunately, we built the first 5 classrooms. By the time I left the place as a teacher, we had built about 10 rooms. Now, fortunately, the Ministry of Education allowed us after another year to go back to school in the morning. The Baba had the same principle with Mayflower. We also started on May 2nd, Mayflower College. But Tashola Arin's philosophy is that he will take his own pupils, students, to Ghana to take exams, because in Ghana you don't need to take what we call qualifying test in English. But if you want to take exam in Nigeria, the GC London, you will take qualifying tests in English. That will qualify you to take the GC. But by 62, I took the qualified test in English with about 10 of us. I passed. So by 63, I took my GC London in 6 subjects. By December 63, I've passed GC London ordinary level with all credits in the University of London examination. So I was retained in that school as a teacher so that I can show others. So I started teaching there in 1964. I became a housemaster. I became the games master. The school, I remember very well, because of the attitude of people in the Ministry of Education. Recognition of schools in those days is very difficult. Not now that you have schools. The canteen is underside, the international college is upstairs. No field, not even table tennis. At that time, you must have a playing field. You must have numbers of graduate teachers. You must have some numbers of qualified grade 1 teachers. You must have the numbers of grade 2 teachers, and so on and so forth. There are some of us who are teaching with ordinary level and advanced level. So I became the games master. At that time, Principal too was very interested in games. I remember taking my football team both inside and outside the country, outside the state, Western region then, and we were good. I remember in 1 year we collected the trophy for all Nigeria in table tennis, and we produced many footballers from that school. I remember Abioye very well. They call him Abe Soccer. Okay, Badon High School. It's okay, Badon High School. I think I've mentioned okay, Badon High School. They call our principal Baba Okay. The school still that today doing fine. And today, when you count about 3 or 4 schools in Ibadan, even recommendation from the Ministry of Education, it's one of the best supported schools by all students.
This is the travail of the young Oladende at 21.
I was trying to call the following day, papers, Daily Times, teacher 21 charged with murder. I told you I was the games master. The boarding house to the school is about 1.5 kilometers. So I remember one day we left training on the field, went back to the boarding house to change for the school. By the time we came back, one of the students ran to me and said, "Sir," some call me Master Show, call me Captain Show. When you call somebody a captain, you know his characters. He must have been a tough guy. So I said, "There's a dead body behind the school, and a little girl of about 6-7 years." When I got there, I saw the dead body. The woman was slaughtered. I ran to the principal who lives in the vicinity. Baba, there's a dead body behind our school. Baba came, we saw it. Baba took me in his car. We went to the police station. We brought the police. They came, they searched the body of the woman. They saw money. They saw the little girl crying, shouting some names, Baba Dele ni o, Baba Dele ni o. When they searched the Igbenu, I don't know how to call it, this woman they used to be, that's why they found the money. And a letter inviting that woman to the school where he has 2 children. The children were under me. I was their teacher. The 2 boys were with me early in the morning on the field for physical training. A day previous, the 2 boys were with me strolling about because I always take these students out when I'm going out. They saw a letter with my name inviting the woman to school. The policeman, who is Mr. Adende Shoremi? I said, it's me. They just said my trouser to the police station. I became the suspect. I was in the police station about a week or 2. I was arraigned in court for murder. My students who are children of this woman were saying, no. We were with this man throughout yesterday. You see, in my house, I even allow students to sleep. So I can never be alone at any given time. So I was in the police station. I was charged to court. The following day, papers, Daily Times, teacher 21 charged with murder. The crowd was in the court, everybody. That's how we started. 1st month, 2nd month, 3rd month. There was a day that they allowed my father to see me. And my father said, Dende, jẹ́wọ́ fún mi. Báwo ló ṣe ṣẹlẹ̀? I said, Daddy, do you think I can kill? He said, no. I said, why did you come to me again? He said, the policemen were asking for money. And he has no money unless he can sell his house. And I said, Daddy, am I your only son? He said, no. Why do you want to sell your house? Because of me. Where do you want to live? Where do you want to put your wives? Where do you want to put your children? No. Let me face this. The truth will come out. I will never. The little girl was saying it was one Baba Dele who came to invite them. The children were saying, I was in school. I didn't go to anywhere. I was there. So I now called the man in charge of my case. It's called Osha. I met him later in life. I saw him something I can't remember now. I later saw him at Akure. I said, Mr. Man, why don't you believe simple truth? You will come to me every time that I should confess and that I cannot do it alone. I said, okay. You know what? I want to confess to you that I did it. He said, will you? I said, yes. Is that not what you want? I will do that. But, that's a but. I will not say anything or put anything down unless my father is present. That evening, he released me. I was roaming about at the police station. He gave me food. He gave me drinks. I was looking at him. He said they should change my dress. My mother will always sit in front of the police station every day. I must not forget to say that. My mother will sit in front of the police station every day because they will bring food for me. She will not go until night. So they prepared a situation where I will confess. I said, no, I'm not going to write to you. I want to see the head of the police there, the head of the CID, and all other inspectors, and the addressing expert. I want to see all of you. So they prepared a place where I was going to confess. They set all their gadgets, not the police now. It's have their gadgets. They brought me into the hall. I saw my father. I was looking at him. He was pale, looking pale. They didn't know what I was going to do. You see, at that time, I've read some law. You cannot do constitution without reading human rights, everything. I was there. So they said, Mr. Shoremi, you now want to confess? I said, yes. I looked at them. I said, now, I want to tell you that I killed the woman. My father fainted. I said, no. I cannot continue. Revive my father. So I was in control. They revived my father. My father was shaking. I was looking at him. I said, but I did not do it alone. They said, yes. Who are who? I now started. I remember his name, but I don't want to mention his name. I remember the name of the head of the CID. I said, the head of the CID was there with me. Inspector ACP was there. Inspector was there. Osha was there. We all killed that woman. They said, what? Beat him. My father said, if you touch him, many people will now be dead. I will die. One of you will die. And so they left me. They didn't beat me. They pushed me away. They pushed me back to the cell. I was laughing. The man said, Dende, look, mister, do your worst. Is there any place worse than this? Fortunately, it happened on the weekend. So the following Monday, I had to go to court for appearance in court again. So when I go to court, my lawyer, who retired as the Justice of the Court of Appeal, Mr. M.O. Onolaja, later Justice Onolaja, was my lawyer. They thought I was young, too young to go to prison remand. So I now said, I now raised up my hand. The magistrate was looking. I said, yes, I want to talk, sir. He said, why? What? I said, sir, I want to be remanded. I prefer to be remanded in prison custody. The whole place look at me. My mother, my father, my present wife was my girlfriend then. They didn't know why. I said, yes, I would like to be remanded in prison custody. He said, why? And I told him what happened. And he looked at the police, abused them, and took me, remanded me into prison custody. So I went to the prison custody. The prison at Agodi, if you call my wife from there, the house is very near. I remember her too, bringing food for me as a girlfriend. Again, my mother moved her headquarters to Agodi. She would stay there from morning till night. When I got there, I was put in a large cell of awaiting trial. There was a riot at Yanofa at that time. So I was with many Muslims. They would pray in the morning. I started to teach them human rights in the prison. And I would smuggle out papers of conditions in the prison outside. So one day they raided my cell, took away my barrow and paper. But I still got again. I won't tell the secrets. But fortunately, around July or early August of that year, advice came from the DPP that I should be discharged because I did not know anything about the murder. The crowd was there jubilating. We trekked from that court to my house, to my father's house, jubilating. Big party by my father, everybody happy.
If elders could bequeath their experience and knowledge of life to children without the children making any mistakes, they would save them from a lifetime of heartaches. Nena Ish Brar.
The Documenting history, preserving legacy.
Great Wonders Media Company